Hey guys, first and foremost, if you haven't already watched part 1 of this little series of videos regarding mock rides, be sure to go check it out on Coastoons' channel. This is part 2 of a video collab we're doing, so yes, you'll be seeing some of him later in this video. While we're on the topic, I'd highly recommend checking out his channel because his content is really damn good. Anyways, in the last episode, we talked about how mock rides is bound to take over and become one of the top dog manufacturers in the coaster world. To us, it's quite clear, but like I said, part 1 is all the answers as to why they'll be making it big. As for this video, I'll be looking into mock rides' future, and we'll be taking a bit of a coaster dash approach to this by listing off some of the up-and-coming models and what parks they would work well at. Let's start things off with the Mack Multilaunch coaster, which is the oldest of the modern mock rides concepts. To be honest, is there a park that this wouldn't work well at, excluding those with an Intamin Blitz coaster maybe? It's very reliable for a launch coaster, it's smooth and comfortable, which therefore means it's a fan favorite for the general public, and while it is a bit more expensive than some other launch coaster models, I think Mack's made it clear that you're getting what you pay for. And this is very evident with how popular the models become. Since 2009, over 15 of them have been built, and this isn't even including the launch coaster variants like the Extreme Spinning Coaster. Speaking of, let's head over to that concept. I'll be passing the script over to Coastoons for a moment where he's going to talk about the Extreme Spinning Coaster and what parks they could work well at.
So the Extreme Spinner concept has been proven a great success. Of course, the prototype Time Traveler had its issues, but I think Mack has really learned from that and is shaping this design into something even better. Later this year, Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland, Jesus Christ, those are both bad names, in Belgium will open to be possibly the best spinning coaster in the world. This is the second installation, of course, with the first being the aforementioned Time Traveler. Since there's been so few installed, it's hard to tell if there's a pattern for what parks would be interested in one and what wouldn't. Of course, this is with one exception. Both Silver Dollar City and Plopsaland mainly focus on theming and really make their coasters a full package, a good combination of theming and thrills. With this in mind, it could be possible that a place like Europa-Park could install an Extreme Spinner. I know some would argue it's a little too similar to Euromir in that same park, but I think they could spruce it up to make it different. Perhaps this could be that new for 2023 Extreme Mock Rides roller coaster they've recently promised. We'll have to wait and see, but it sounds like a slam dunk move for them. Another park that could or maybe already has looked into such a concept is Dollywood. Remember when they sent out that survey asking about what their next ride should be? The most popular options were a B&M Hyper, a well-themed but thrilling indoor coaster, and, of course, an Extreme Spinner. If any park is willing to put out one of these, it would be Dollywood. Their parent company, Herschend, is probably well aware of how successful Time Traveler has been. Again, even though it's on the expensive side, they know it's worth what they're paying for.
Okay, so the next model worth mentioning is definitely the Mack Power Splash. We first saw this with Pulsar at Walibi, Belgium, and then with Power Splash at Happy Valley, Shenzhen in China. Now we'll be seeing a third installation at Six Flags Over Texas in Aquaman Power Wave. Let's talk about that latter a bit. If Six Flags is actually willing to work with Mack Rides, one of the pricier manufacturers again, I think they're onto something with the Power Splash. Pulsar, being the specific Power Splash I've seen and heard the most out of, really does look like a fantastic ride. It's an awesome twist on their original water coaster concept, think Journey to Atlantis. But Mack Rides isn't quite done with the Power Splash concept, even after the rise in popularity. They've even tossed around the idea of putting a vertical loop on this thing. Could you imagine how an inversion would feel on a water coaster? Because apparently Mack Rides is once again showing us that just about anything you put your mind to is possible. To be honest, I have a feeling that the Power Splash, inverting or not, will be that next big clone. Like, forget that crappy Intamin ripoff. Mack's proven their success with Pulsar, so there's no reason that would ever catch on. I strongly believe that once this pandemic is over, we'll be seeing a lot more of the Power Splash coasters. It just makes sense, guys. It's a reliable, thrilling, somewhat cheap equivalent to other water coaster designs that other manufacturers couldn't find success with. Now, there is one more coaster model from Mack I wanted to highlight in this video, and that is the HyperCoaster. Take it away, Coastoons.
The HyperCoaster by Mack Rides has its competition. The big boys like B&M and Intamin and even RMC have sold these like hotcakes, so for a park to want to install a Mack version, it may at first seem questionable, but then you realize how different it is. I mean, they need to differentiate itself to make it worth selling. Mack Rides knows this, they aren't stupid. Since 2016, Mack has sold 3 of these hypers, and to be honest, these look like some of the best hypers on the earth. They're certainly some of the most unique. The original was Flash at Luo Adventure in China, which did something that no other manufacturer would even think to install in one of their hypercoasters. It has the world's tallest vertical loop, something like 200 feet, going around that super steep lift hill. Very Kumba vibes, but on a hypercoaster. It really is quite the spectacle, but even better, it's not the only thing that makes Flash unique. It has a 0G roll and many low to the ground maneuvers, whereas B&M Hypers focus on these large-scale airtime hills. It's pretty clear that this was a winner, because in 2018, some random park in Turkey decided to clone it, and a year prior to that, Warner Bros. Movie Park in Australia debuted DC Rivals, the tallest, fastest, longer coaster in that section of the world. To be honest, guys, I don't think B&M would build this. DC Rivals has a layout consisting of a perfect balance of large elements and smaller ones. Many enthusiasts like myself are contemplating this being the best hyper in the world, which just speaks volumes about Mack's success in the thrill market and what their success could look like in the future.
So that's just going to about wrap things up. Mack's future really does look like it's going to be a bright one, and these newer models go to show that this is true. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you considered subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. I also wanted to thank Coastoons for helping me out in this video. A link to his channel as well as part 1 of this video will be down in the description. Thanks again for watching this video, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye guys.